Okay, so we're gonna plant a tree, and my friend Destiny's here.
Hello.
She just dug a tree up from her yard, and we're working on some water issues in her yard and stuff because she does floods. But we were talking about like how she planted the tree, and now we, after seeing it, the tree was probably planted all right, maybe a little deep. But I watched a video this morning on how to plant a tree, some instructional on how to plant a tree, and the angles were wrong, everything was wrong. So I'm gonna try and get this right so you can really see and understand it. I think what we were just talking about over there is that really changes it.
Yeah.
It changed it for me. In Florida, because we're so sandy, all this soil that we put in, good stuff like this. This previously had a tree here that just died in the cold, just a little baby mango. Here's my native sand. This is my soil level of my native, right from the property. That's what we started with. I brought in a bunch of material, so it's a little higher, but that is my spot, my bottom. So that stuff, because it's so super porous, it drinks up everything that I put in it. No matter how much stuff I put here, it's gonna break down, it's gonna compost, it's gonna break down the particles that are so tiny. Elmo, what's up, buddy? That they're able to sift their way down through the sand. It's like, it's a filter, and it slows it down a little, but this stuff goes. So what I didn't realize is, like, at first I planted a bunch of stuff under it. I put a lot of just thick organic material and stuff, and I was going under the trees thinking I have to create this big area. Well, as soon as I did that, obviously that stuff decomposed and sunk. But also, if you're planting a 3-gallon tree, it's what's inside the 3-gallon pot is also going to disappear. So count on that tree sinking this much. You gotta, seems about 3 years before those roots really lock it into place, and it's a good strong tree. So you gotta plant this high to account for all that drop, just the pot. So we have this one tree. This was a 7-gallon that I threw into this 15 just so I could give it, a little more moisture and material until I could get it in the ground. I've been dragging my feet on planting this. It's a green sapote. It's a cool tree. So I'm gonna plant it here. Now I'm gonna fill this in just a touch. Now there's a touch of organic matter, so I plan on that. I'm accounting for it, but we're only talking about an inch worth. Drag this thing out of this grow bag. And I've found you can be pretty rough with them, and they do fine, as long as you're not breaking roots. So that's where my tree is. That's what I have to work with. That's probably about where I'm gonna plant that tree. This is the root, this is the top of my flare. This is the first roots that come out of this tree. So I want that at surface level. This always have to be accessible and visible. These things should be at the surface. They should be able to breathe. That's what I'm liking. And I'm this high above my native ground. I'm like a solid foot above my native ground. Now I push stuff to it to give it good material to grab into. And now we've just got this bucket of assorted compost, chips, broken down, whatever.
Beautiful.
And I just create a mountain with it. This is probably like dumped out dead fruit trees and assorted dead plants, because I like to kill a lot of stuff. So I mound it up like that, and I know this is going to sink. I fully intend on this sinking. It's fine, it's going to sink. It has a foot of room to sink before it's a problem. And if that tree doesn't lock itself into place before that's a problem, that tree isn't going to live here anyway.
Pretty good motto.
And then plain old wood chips. That amount of material, that amount of organic matter sitting there, it can sink. And if I'm seeing this thing flopping around, which I don't think it's going to be a problem with this one, but if it is, you can go in there with like a tripod, bamboo, T-post, anything, prop it, just keep it in place. But I think it's going to be fine. All I have to do right now is spray this down with water, and I will never water that again. I don't have to. I just won't, it won't need it, because there's so much material there to hold water. And as this sinks, the mulch sinks away, you'll start to expose roots. Remulch. The mango right here. We're like a year and a half in. This is a perfect example. This tree, look at where it's at. It's significantly lower than that one. I took this tree out of a 7-gallon pot a year and a half ago and set it on the ground and pushed a bunch of material up to it. I did not dig a hole at all. And now this thing is dropped that much.
You told me you didn't dig a hole to plant that thing where it's sitting. I would say you were what?
I did not dig a hole. I didn't dig a hole to plant this one or the lemon meringue that's over there.
That's crazy.
And they came full out of a 7-gallon pot.
Wow.
I think it's pretty unique to a high property like mine, especially in Florida with a high property. It's gonna drink all the material. So your place is the opposite. You're not gonna drink any of the material. You have it, your soil's great, but it's too wet. I don't ever get that. I can't get that. I lose all my material. So this is just years worth of killing trees and observing and watching. So you just have to do the opposite. You've got to be able to plant yours high enough that when they sink, they're still not sitting in a puddle of water.
Yeah.
And then all your trees will take off.
Okay.
But for a peach or avocado or something like that, you're gonna have Mount Everest in your yard.
Do we know it?
But I think that's a really good example. I think the understanding of that tree, what's in the pot, is going to disappear and allow your entire root structure and your trunk to sink. That changed my view on how to plant. When we did the well, when we tried to dig that well, I learned so much about this property. We dug 4-inch casing. We were just hand digging. We made it to like 11 feet. At 11 feet, all of a sudden, we started finding black sand. It was all white and gray and yellow and orange, different grades all the way down for 11 feet. And then we hit black. And that was about this much of that. And then we hit that hard pan at the bottom. So all the nutrients from like a couple 100 million years, however long it's been,
All down there.
all sitting at that hard pan. And it clicked for me after a couple days of thinking about it. That's where all my garden stuff goes. That's why it goes, because it has to find a hard pan. Your hard pan is not far down.
No.
And mine's 11 feet down. That changed my whole thought about. I'm like, oh my God! So I just have to feed these things enough that the ground can eat it, and continue to feed it, so that biomass production of Mexican sunflower, which is all over, that Napier grass is looking really strong. I think Chaya is going to be a good one. Katuk could be a good. I mean, anything growing in big numbers will be stuff you can pile on top.
My Katuk plants did not make it through the freeze.
Yeah, ours got blasted too. They usually come back from the ground. But like this with the Mexican sunflower on the base of the lychee, when it's, when the cold comes, that stuff's huge because it's had all summer to grow.
Yeah.
And now it all dies away in the winter. It
Creates
self-mulched
that
itself.
yeah.
Yeah, the jack beans did the same thing. There are jack beans all in here. They had such a bush around that longan that longan didn't get touched. It's got flowers on it right now.
Wow.
And it was
insulation barrier.
Yeah, between the Mexican sunflower and the jack beans, just like climbing all around the base of the trunks. Because you can see through it now.
Yeah.
But that was impenetrable with jack beans. So now the freeze froze it off, dropped it all right on top of the root ball.
Are those the pods?
Yeah.
Huge.
I got these from Jay Reynolds. Starfish! That's why they call her Starfish.
That's how my dog looks.
Yeah, Jay sent me a bunch of these.
That is wild. Ooh.
Yeah, they're gigantic. And these didn't even really finish growing, but they look about mature. I mean, the seeds look right. So I was told they're edible at like when they're really tiny, but they're massive. And
That's so cool.
I plug a few of them in the ground, especially avocados that love nitrogen. They're nitrogen fixers. So anything that loves a bunch of nitrogen, plant them all around, and it's just dropping nitrogen-rich biomass all around the whole root. The entire drip line of this tree is covered in material, and I grew a bazillion more of these. So now we'll grow some more.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So this is the concept. When I was at Matt Reese's place, the thing that he said to me that it rings in my brain, and now all I can think about is growing biomass. Don't become mulch dependent. If you don't know how to do it without the mulch is a great Kickstarter. It's here, it's fast, but grow your biomass. And that changed kind of the way I looked at everything. Is wherever I'm doing something, I need to have something growing next to it that's going to feed it. Whatever's the goal tree, it has to have friends that are going to feed it. So I'm starting to plant kind of in that manner. Because looking at it on a big scale of trying to do this like agroforestry style and grow all that, I was getting so overwhelmed with it.
Thank you. Sorry.
Because I just disrupt the video.
I did.
I was getting overwhelmed with what to put where. What do I put in between these two? What do I put in between these two? What do I put in between these two?
Filler.
Yeah, it's all that stuff to fill in and to give it good shielding from the weather and all that. So the idea of just take care of each tree with its nitrogen fixing or biomass producer or any of that, and that's starting to change how I plant stuff. And that was just a year ago. Like the little mango in there, that's orange sherbet. We just put it in really late last year, but I put the Mexican sunflower all around it, and then we put the burn barrel there. The Little Dwarf Hawaiian is a year older than that, and it didn't have the Mexican sunflower around it. Look at the difference.
Yeah.
That's sizzled off. I mean, this is fine. It'll live. It'll regrow and everything from down low. It's already doing it right now. But I did lose tips. I lost canopy on this thing.
Yeah,
It's healthy as could be. It's back. It's ready to push right now.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean that's literally the only difference. They are the same distance from that burn barrel, but having this here changed everything on these. So all of this stuff has Mexican sunflower up next to it. The lychee needs that backdrop, especially when I lit the fire.
Yeah.
Having the backdrop behind it changes it all. And it reduced our time that we needed to burn too, because we only were burning the last one. We came out and we burned right after the trees got frost on them. All of these had frost. This lychee had frost on it.
Wow.
The leaves were. I didn't have my phone out here. I would have taken pictures. I should have. But it was like 4 a.m. when we came out, and this was frosted. And this is all the damage I got because we fired these things up immediately. We boom, boom, boom. Me and my buddy Jimmy was out here, and the three of us, or the 3 barrels, got popped up quick, and that was it. Everyone was fine. We didn't lose. All we lost was tips. Like here, opposite the barrel, right here, I lost the tips on fruit cocktail. Just on this though, and just here. This is pushing. This is pushing.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, but I'll take that for not having to be up for 2 days.
Yeah.
So I'll experiment out here with this tropical stuff in a subtropical environment.
Yeah.
We're almost there. But with your front yard all open like that, the more you can pack in there, create windbreaks and insulation and stuff. That's why I picked this area, because I feel like it gets enough sun. And my new neighbor, nice enough to come in here and knock down like 3 big trees that were right here and opened up this whole chunk of sky that I didn't have before, which is amazing because all summer it just gets drilled, and now we catch it in the wintertime too. So really it's a great spot for subtropical and tropical stuff. So, and everything is done good back here this year. The bigger they get, the bigger they can get, because they insulate each other.
Yeah. For protection from the elements, windbreakers, cool weather.
All of it, yeah. It's power in numbers, like just having friends all snuggling together. That's what I'm trying to do right here, because there's so much cool stuff I want to grow.
Yeah.
If I can get this to work, then I can get a whole bunch of stuff to work. Because I still have the center of this right here. There's no tree there. I've got my main canopy there and there. If I keep these reasonably small, I could stick another one like right here, right there, right there. There's definitely room for more stuff. More stuff. More exotic stuff. Maybe sweet tart needs to go right there. I have a nice sweet tart, a nice big sweet tart. All right, cool. We need to water that thing in.
Hey, you need to tell them to like, subscribe, and share.
Subscribe, and share. And what else can we do? Look at our other videos. Share our page. Pump it out there. We're trying to get big numbers. We need big numbers. The more numbers we get, then maybe we get monetized, then maybe we make more videos because we have more time. That would be good. Like our stuff. Buy some stuff from us. Look at my dog. Fishy, you want to show everyone your trick? Fishy, fishy. Fishy, fishy, fishy. What's she doing? Come here, baby. Come. Show everyone your trick. You ready? Come on. Come on. Wake up. Ready? Ready? Back up. Come on. Hey. Come on. Yeah. Good girl. Has there ever been a sweeter dog? Ever. Ever. No, she's so sweet.